face. Yeah. My name's Keith.
I'm Steve.
And first off, we're going to talk a little bit about the NFL matchups over the weekend. In case anyone watched this episode last week, I was way off on
I won't lie, I was
predictions.
completely right, as usual.
Doesn't happen very often. So for you, those of you keeping score at home, he's winning right now. It
Big
won't
time.
last.
Keith's already out of the playoffs on both sides.
Anyways, so games this weekend: San Diego, New England. Who you got?
I got New England in New England because if you think, not only do I have to go across the country, which is a problem for teams in the regular season, but in a playoff season, you also have the problem of weather, which San Diego does not like. They don't like if it rains, if it's a little bit colder than what it normally is. So without a doubt, New England will cakewalk. Not to mention Phillip Rivers, he's still not practicing. So
Billy Volek. I know how much you're a Billy Volek supporter.
Yeah.
Tennessee Titan fan, you.
hate him.
Well, it's of course I'm going to pick New England too. So let's make this a little bit more interesting.
Okay.
Big play of the game.
I'm going to say, I seriously, in the first part of the game, I'm really thinking that New England is going to take a pick six.
Pick six.
Yeah, early,
Who
and it's
does
going
it?
to set the tone. I'm going to pick, as much as I don't like him, Rodney Harrison.
Rodney Harrison?
Hey, I don't like him, but he always comes up big in the playoffs. So I'm picking Harrison pick six.
I'm saying huge day for Adalius Thomas.
It's
due.
about time.
He's
He
due.
got a big contract.
Yeah.
He should do something.
It's about time for him. And NFC we got the little Manning, who I despise, against the Packers in Lambeau Field at night.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't look good for the Giants.
No, it doesn't. One of the toughest things to do is play in Green Bay. Seattle's bad too. New England as well. But I don't think weather's going to play as big of a deal with the New York Green Bay game, just because they both play in cold weather. But Eli's never made it this far, and I just think with Green Bay's offense, and the banged up secondary at New York, it's if the Giants D-line does not cause a lot of problems, then this is going to be a big blowout.
See Ryan Grant having a big day. He's having a hell of a year for a rookie.
You want to talk about a big step up? They drafted a guy and
Brandon Jackson.
Yeah, and in the second round, thinking that he was going to be the one, and they had Vernon Morrissey also. He didn't do anything. I can see that as well. About it, I don't see how it's. I don't even really see how it's going to be close.
Nice little underlining story. For those who didn't know, Ryan Grant actually was playing for the Giants at the beginning of the year, and they got rid of him. That's a nice little tidbit of information. So next we're going to be moving on to what, Steve?
Well, now that we picked who we think is going to get to the Super Bowl, which is what I did initially, I'm going to say let's pick our Super Bowl winner right now, so that way there's nothing that we leave out.
All right, so I'm kind of getting like a second chance here.
A little bit,
Kind of like runner-up.
It's
Am I
like
like a little
me.
brother who gets a chance?
Yeah, but then I might squash you, so.
Yeah, that's true. I hate New England, and I can't say New England, so I'm gonna go with the Packers. Brett Favre win another Super Bowl, go out on top. AJ Hawk, my boy, linebacker. I'm saying Packers.
I think the whole Randy Moss story might have a little bit of a hiccup in the long run, especially where it's a new story now, and as it develops, Super Bowl's still a few weeks away. There's a lot of shit that can start like that. So if you look at the snowball effect, I'm going to go ahead and still say New England, not because of Brett Favre or the offense, but I just think New England's, with the whole situation, the year that everything seemed to bounce their way. I do think New England can be had, but I just don't think that Green Bay's going to do it this year. I'm going to stay with New England.
I can't really disagree.
As much as I don't want to.
I
like Brett Favre, so I would like to see Green Bay win it, but it'll be New England.
All right, sticking with the NFL, team that got upset by San Diego last week, the Colts. Last game in the RCA Dome.
Yeah.
Tony Dungy, we're neither one of us are that upset about them losing.
Well, the biggest problem with me is, the one time that I do want the Colts to win, they can't do it because
same with me.
I mean, I don't want New England to win, and I don't think San Diego is going to have a chance. So I was really hoping that the Colts would make it back to the Super Bowl and get beat by Green Bay.
And I'm throwing this out there. This is for us Browns fans out there. You know, maybe if they would have tried to win that last week of the season, they might have been a little bit more prepared. That's all I'm saying.
I just think it was, they were just a little bit too lax. I mean, you look at how they played, and they didn't get much pressure, even though they should have. But
where was the defensive player of the year in that game? That's what I want to know.
Well, he wasn't to be found because he shouldn't have been the defensive player of the year. If you look at, I've never saw such a dick suck as I do on ESPN whenever every analyst wants to sit there and just stroke him under the table. I mean, no wonder he's tired on game day. But I mean, if you look at a little bit deeper, I think Tony Dungy's coming back for 1 year because they don't lose anyone, and then next year a few pieces are going to fall off because they don't have the money to re-sign everyone. So I think one last year with Tony, especially with the money he's getting, he doesn't have to do anything with Peyton on the field. So I think he'll be back one more year.
I don't see it. He had the whole family issues last year. His kids are already enrolled down in Tampa Bay at school, and RCA Dome's closing out. They're going to start over and turn over a new leaf, open a new stadium, and I just think it's a good time for him to get out. Marvin Harrison's probably going to retire. Should retire.
He won't retire.
He's done. It's pretty obvious he's done. If he comes back, what's he going to play? Third wideout behind Gonzalez?
He won't play behind Gonzalez. There's no way.
I don't see it. I don't think he's back.
He just signed a 6-year deal, I think over last offseason. I just think the Tony Dungy thing, he needs to do one last year, give it one more shot where all the pieces still are. I mean, they still are definitely going to make the playoffs unless there's a lot of injuries, but
I guess we'll find out soon.
Yeah.
This is pretty much the NFL version of Game Face today. We're going to stick with the NFL. A lot of big news in the NFL right now.
I mean, and plus it's the big part of the season for the NFL, so you got to put precedent.
Jason Garrett, staying with the Cowboys as offensive coordinator, and he's going to be assistant head coach, getting paid $3 million a year for assistant head coach. That's more than a lot of head coaches in the NFL make.
It just makes me glad that we signed Heimerdinger back before this. Really,
it's ridiculous.
I mean, there's no way I'd pay an assistant $3 million.
No,
I mean,
he's getting paid almost as much as Wade Phillips. How's he got to feel? He's like, well, we lose in the playoffs again. I'm out. He's, Garrett will be the head coach.
And that's the underlying story here. I mean, Jason Garrett's going to be the next coach of the Cowboys.
That's obvious.
It's the next step that they're going to do next time Wade Phillips, they get out early or they don't make the playoffs, he's instantly fired. Jerry will throw in the money that he's guaranteed, and then Jason Garrett will start the new era.
Yep.
I don't like it. I was hoping he was going to leave for the Ravens job, but
it's going to set a new precedent with assistant coaches. I mean, this won't be the last time we see $3 million as assistant coach. It's going to happen again.
It's like the Nick Saban thing in college.
Yep.
I mean, exactly.
They basically fucked everyone. Cowboys, what a surprise. Jerry Jones throwing his money around. But still, with the coaching changes, how about nobody wanting the Ravens job whatsoever?
Apparently, everyone saw what we saw all year during the season, that the defense is getting old. Yeah,
they're old. There's nothing else you can say about that team. The team's old, doesn't have a quarterback, doesn't really have an offensive line anymore, because Willis McGahee had no room all season.
No, I mean, that was a decent pickup, a quick fix, but I don't see why that they're not looking for a future with some burst. I mean,
maybe they can find another quarterback who can throw the ball 80 yards from his knee, like Kyle
through
Fuller.
a field goal post, though.
That's impressive. First-round talent, right?
Yeah.
I guess, but I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up, right?
Yeah, I think that's going to be all. Don't forget to check us out, www.riot.com with hyphens in between. And I
guess
that's all we got.
We'll see you later.
See ya.